Welcome back to MMA Now. As most of you have heard, I'm sure, Dana White had an altercation with his wife on New Year's Eve. She slapped him, he slapped her, and now there's a huge controversy surrounding it, whether he should be punished severely. She did it first. Is it fair? Equal rights, blah, blah, blah. But someone sent to me a video of his mom talking about Dana White. I don't think this is recent. I think it's a little bit old. Basically, she was saying that this isn't the first time like he hits his wife, or whatever. So I'm going to watch this video and react to it, and let's see what we got going on here.
A good guy, guys liked him, girls liked him. He just had this great personality. People were attracted to him. They wanted to be his friend. They liked hanging out with him. Our family was very close. We did a lot of things together. Dana, when I first moved back to Boston, he came back and lived with me for a while back there. Even back then, he'd be down at a bar with a friend or something, and he'd call me up and go, "Mom, we're having a beer down at, so-and-so's bar. Come on down and have a beer with us." I wrote this book because I don't like the person Dana's become. And the thing that pushed it.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, ma'am. You wrote a book because you don't like who your son's become. You wrote a book on your... She did not just say that.
The edge for me was when his grandmother got sick and died this summer. His grandmother was one of those grandmothers that he was with a lot. She lived with us for a while. When he would go back east, when we lived in Vegas, he spent time with her back there. So she was sick and dying, and he hadn't spoke to her in 2 years. And he called her up and told her, "Graham, I'm going to send my plane to get you. I'm going to bring you back to Vegas to live with us. You're going to have the best medical care money can buy." And then she never heard from him again. So, and that was typical Dana, so I really didn't even think twice about it. But the final straw was when I saw one of her neighbors, and her neighbor asked me what I was doing there, and I said, "My mom's sick, and I'm down here taking care of her." And she said, "Oh, we thought she was gone." I said, "Gone where?" She said, "Well, she told us her grandson was coming to get her. She told everybody in the neighborhood that she wouldn't be here because he was coming to get her to take care of her now." So that just sort of pushed the final button for me. And
okay, I'm seeing a huge disconnect here because, for one, she's just like, Dana, like, that's your son. Can you show that there's some kind of relationship there? Like, are you freaking kidding me? And then on top of that, what world do we live in that we think we should just air our business like that? Like, I understand that reporters are going to report on him. They're going to snap a picture. But this is his mom. You can't even trust your family? Like, what the heck? Freaking Karen, man.
Hoping the book, a lot of the stuff might bring him back or make him think about who he's become. And
why would that bring him back? She said she was hoping the book would bring him back or make him think about who he's become. Anyone in their right mind knows that that's going to push someone who you supposedly love further away by you talking about them, writing a book on them. All you're trying to do, Karen, is capitalize on your son. What kind of mother does that?
In the way he behaves, but I don't think it's really had that.
He got it from you, clearly. What he does to people, he learned it from you, sweetie.
Effect on him.
No, it didn't. No way.
Now that grandmother passed away.
Yes.
Did he come to her funeral?
No. We had she was cremated in Florida, and then we had a funeral service for her up in Connecticut. And he never came. He didn't send flowers, card, nothing. Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from him for what he's done for MMA and the UFC. I mean, Dana has a high school education, and that's it. And
are you kidding me? How are you going to say out of your mouth, "I don't want to take anything away from him," and then out of the next breath say, "But he only has a high school education"? Who are you? You're his mom, and you're talking about him like this. The lack of support, the lack of love, like, just because your son becomes big and you don't like who he's become does not give you a right to go write a book on him and try and make money off of him. That's still your blood. Like, where is the motherly instinct here?
With MMA and the UFC, but he's not a good person. He seems to have lost his character somewhere along the way. He mistreats people. It's terrible the way he speaks of women and treats women. That really bothers me because...
Oh, does it? Does that bother you?
Don't believe I've ever brought him up.
She doesn't think she brought him up to behave like that. But yet, how are you behaving, Miss Ma'am? You literally are trying to make money off of your son. How do you think that makes him feel to know that someone he can trust most in the world, who we're supposed to be able to trust most, our mother, right, is writing a book on him, airing out his business, taking interviews, talking bad about him, trying to say you don't know how he turned out to be like that. You're why he turned out to be like that. Oof.
Speak about me very often,
No.
and when he does, it's very short and brief. He doesn't like to talk about me. My mom was never around, but he doesn't seem to add to it why I was never around. I really did work like 80, 100 hours a week.
She's not really making it better for herself. She's like, he doesn't really talk about me. He says I was never around, but he doesn't add why I was never around. Do you think a kid is worried about my mom's not here because she's doing ABC? No. All kids are thinking is my mom's not here to take care of me. You can have all the reasons in the world as an adult as to why you're not there for your kids, but guess what? That's still damaging to your kids. So I am really like concerned about her lack of love for her son. It's crazy.
That was to pay for everything. If he didn't go to that school, if I didn't work all those hours, he would have never met the Fertittas. It's that sort of chain reaction thing. There would be no UFC.
Stop. Literally stop. She's trying to say if I didn't work all those hours and he couldn't go to that school, then it would have been a chain reaction. He would have never became who became. Girl, like she's literally trying to discredit this man so much. It's insane.
I do believe Dana's used steroids. I hadn't seen any pictures of him for a while, and then I saw one and he had no neck. He was just like, and it seems
Are you
busted
kidding me?
on his jacket, and I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing? So yeah, it certainly looked like it.
How
I don't
are
know
you
if Dana
talking about your
fears
son
me.
like this?
I just really do think that he knows that I will probably be one of the only people who won't back down, who won't kiss his ass, who won't take his crap. I'm his mom, and I should never have to.
You're
And he
his
knows
mom?
I
You
never
could have fooled
would.
me.
He did in one interview say we're a lot alike. I have a hard time with Dana's marriage, I guess you could call it. Married, and that's
I'm
it.
sorry. I grew up with this thing that was like, what happens in this house stays in this house. She is airing out all this man's business. You're his mom. Why would you do that? Like, also, when my parents used to send me out, they used to say, you better look your best because guess who you represent while you're out there? You represent me. So does she not realize that there's a connection? That's your son. The way that he is, the way that he acts has a lot to do with how you raised him. So you're going to go and talk bad about him. Like, guess who that also looks bad on? You, sweetie.
And if you don't want to be, and you want to be out with other people, then leave the person you're with. Don't make a joke of your marriage. But his marriage is a joke.
How so?
Well, everyone knows that he puts Tiger Woods to shame.
Someone please give this lady a TV show to watch because she clearly needs drama in her life, and creating it with her son, airing out his business is so unacceptable. It's not even funny.
Ring-card girls sleep with him. There's two of them I know for sure, and I don't remember I don't know if I ever knew her name. She was the first ring-card girl. I think she used to do the Zions commercials for them too. But I know he was sleeping with her. It used to annoy me. The former ring card girl, Rochelle, he took her out, did a lot of things for her.
I can't.
Helped her
I
get
really
into
can't.
Playboy. She was trying to build a career, and she wanted to go well beyond being a ring card girl for the UFC. So Dana was with her at a number of functions and with friends, and it was pretty obvious that they had a relationship for a while. Yeah, he slept with his sister-in-law in my house, which made me absolutely furious. I mean, he goes after any girl he wants.
Just air out all his
usually
business.
Gets them.
All his business.
So his wife they're constantly fighting. The honeymoon, she gave him the worst black eye I've ever seen. He nearly lost his eye. So I don't know if that's his way of...
All right, y'all, that's all I can stomach for right now. I know that there's still 3 minutes left. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to it, but I cannot. The fact that news people know that they can go to this man's mother and get information out of her is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. The fact that she's just running her mouth about personal issues is out of this world. Like, I feel bad for Dana White seeing his mother. I don't, like, obviously he's his own man, but like the fact that she's doing this is 1000% wrong. There's no way to look at this that makes it right. She's trying to make money off of her son. I hope her book did terrible, and I hope that she digs deep within and learns how to love her son, because that's her flesh and blood, and what she's doing to him is 1000% messed up, and it's just going to mess him up more. It's not going to change who he is. It's not going to make him think about who he is. All it's going to do is make him bitter and angry towards his mom. So that's sad. I can't. I'm done, guys. I can't. It's too much for me.